all having a razzle-dazzle day. If not, then you're in luck, because today we are getting down to business. The business of Disney. I love Disney, if you couldn't tell. And today I am going to be telling you guys about my favorite Disney movie, as well as making a little fan art for it, because this is an art channel and we do those sort of things here. Now, this is a submission video for reviews.org. They are hiring 5 lucky people to watch Disney movies. Yeah, I know. I won't go too into detail with it, but if you want more information, the link will be in the description down below. You can go check it out. Just be aware that you do have to be 18 years or older, and you have to be a US citizen. So just keep those things in mind. So if you're not either of those, then I'm sorry, but you're not eligible. Now, my favorite Disney movie. There are dozens and if not hundreds of amazing Disney movies. Lilo and Stitch, Pete's Dragon, 1977, The Little Mermaid, The Emperor's New Groove, they all hold very special places in my heart. But the movie that is practically perfect in every way would have to be, drumroll please, Toy Story. I mean, come on, look at this clip from 18 years ago when I was 1 year old.
I'm gonna try and get a picture of Emily watching Woody and Buzz. Toy Story 2 is her favorite show and she just loves it. She calls him Ooey, Woody. Hi, Dizzy. Are you watching Woody?
I would watch that movie over and over again as a kid. Do not mess with my Toy Story. And I've been pretty happy with the direction that they've taken all of the sequels. Toy Story 2 had that absolute banger, Woody's Roundup, and not to mention Jesse's previous owner and I both have the same name. So, coincidence? I think not. Toy Story 3 literally ripped my heart out with that stinking recycling scene, but it's okay, Bonnie fixed me up, it's all better now. And then Toy Story 4, seriously, only Disney can give a plastic eating utensil a personality. Although I must say, I relate to Forky on a very personal level because honestly,
I'm trash.
Same. But none of these movies would have happened, and honestly, Pixar might not have even existed if it weren't for the very first Toy Story, and that is what I am going to be talking about today while making fan art. Let's do this. The movie starts out, of course, with a scene everyone can relate to. I know I myself have very fond memories of playing with my toys and using anything I could get my hands on as props for my scene, and boxes were no exception. I love this scene because right away you get this sense of childlike wonder that you got when you were a kid playing with your own toys. And it really sets the mood for the rest of the movie, and I love that. I probably could have done without Molly though. Let's face it, the 3D modeling in this movie is a little rough around the edges and can kind of err on the creepy side. But that is understandable considering this is Pixar's first film, not to mention the very first completely computer animated feature film ever. I mean, this movie came out before I was born. Plus, it does provide for some very entertaining facial expressions. Another thing that I love about Disney and Pixar is they are very good at slipping in adult jokes that the kids don't understand, but the parents can have a good laugh at. Mr. Potato Head is a great character for these kinds of jokes because he is a very cynical person. Potato, toy, thing. It's actually very clever of Disney and Pixar to slip in these kinds of jokes because it makes it so that instead of targeting a very specific audience, they are broadening their horizons so that everyone can enjoy it, from kids to teenagers to even adults.
The word I'm searching for, I can't say because there's preschool toys present.
And of course, my favorite character in the movie was always Woody because, duh. Woody is one of those characters that you just can't help but like. Maybe that's why he was Andy's favorite toy for so long. Sure, I like Buzz, but Woody is the real deal. Woody is not only a great leader, but he is also very caring about his friends. This can be seen right at the beginning of the movie when Slinky asks him to play checkers with him. It's obvious that they do that all the time. And it can also be seen even when he's making his announcements, telling everybody to get a moving buddy. He doesn't want any of the toys to get lost. Those are his friends. That would be devastating. But like any good main character, Woody is not without his flaws. That would make for a really boring story and a very unrelatable character. The first and most obvious flaw that Woody has is jealousy. Woody is jealous of Buzz almost right away because Andy and even all the other toys are very excited about this really cool new toy that has a bunch of bells and whistles. And he feels like he's starting to get replaced. And that is actually his second flaw, the fear of being replaced. That is something that I think a lot of us can relate to, myself included. These flaws in Woody cause him to make bad decisions that don't necessarily make him a bad person toy, but make him a more realistic toy. And we as the viewers realize that he's got some stuff he needs to work out before the final credits roll. So we have our main character, and what an excellent main character he is, but no story is complete without a villain, and that is where Sid comes in. And may I just say, Sid is actually terrifying. This guy blows up toys for fun. Not to mention the crazy operations he's got going on in his room. If that doesn't scream psychopath, I don't know what does.
I don't believe that man's ever been to medical school.
And by the way, I never noticed this as a kid, but the very first time Sid is introduced, he blows up a combat Carl. After the explosion goes off, you can see a helmet in frame for a moment, which, like, okay, that's understandable. That sort of gets the point across. And holy moly, is that an arm? This movie is brutal! And next comes the moment where Woody really messes up, and that is where he accidentally pushes Buzz out the window. I always hated this scene as a kid because what did you think was going to happen, Woody? This guy thinks he's an actual space ranger. Do you really think he's not going to notice the loudest RC car in existence coming at him from a mile away? Even if he didn't notice the RC coming at him, I'm pretty sure Buzz is way too thick to fit down that tiny crack between the desk and the wall. And even if he were small enough to fit, Mr. Potato Head still would have seen, RC still would have tried to tell them what had happened, Buzz still would be stuck down there and be able to tell his side of the story, and everyone would still be mad at him. Admittedly not as mad at him as they are when they think that he killed Buzz, but that's besides the point. Woody, I love you, but you really didn't think this through at all, did you? Although I do have to give this scene style points because the pins falling from the corkboard and the globe chasing after Buzz is so cool to watch. Which actually reminds me, this movie had a lot of creative moments that they wouldn't have been able to have if they were using characters that weren't toys. A good example of this is when Buzz punches Woody and Woody's head spins. I love that scene. And of course, we have to have an honorable mention for the famous Pizza Planet truck, which can now be found in literally every single Pixar movie ever. Another thing that I love about Pixar is the Easter eggs that they always slip into their movies, but that could be a whole nother video on its own. And I love Pizza Planet because they just captured the feeling of an arcade so well. Although the aliens always did annoy me as a kid, like they were so close to getting out, just let them leave, let the poor toys go. Why do y'all gotta be so crazy all the time? Although I suppose I should be grateful for the aliens because if it weren't for them, then Woody and Buzz never would have gone through the harrowing experience at Sid's house and they never would have become friends. Speaking of harrowing, is Sid's family okay? The first thing Sid does when he gets home is steal his sister's doll. First of all, how dare? Second of all, shouldn't Hannah be prepared for this? Doesn't her brother do this all the time? Why would she have her toy just out in the open right in front of her brother who steals her toys and rips them to shreds. Like, wisen up, kid. And third, where are the parents? Okay, well actually we know where the dad is. He's zoinked out on the couch surrounded by beer cans. Which, side note, even the dog knows not to mess with dad when he's sleeping. And if this were a normal dog, I wouldn't think too much of it. But this is Scott. And Scott doesn't care about anything but destruction and making noise. What does this dad do when he's awake to make the dog walk away quietly for fear of waking him up? You know, just a thought. And then where is the mom during this whole thing? Because Hannah is literally screaming and crying for her mother as Sid runs up to his room to perform brain surgery. Like, woman, go comfort your child, and while you're at it, do something about the other one! Moving on, we get to the scene where Woody and Buzz escape from Sid's room. And may I just say, Buzz falling off of the stairs and losing an arm is the most heartbreaking scene I have ever seen, okay? But it was also very crucial because it led to the two most important scenes in cinematic history.
I am Mrs. Nesbit. Snap out of it, Buzz! Buzz, will you get up here and give me a hand?
Oh yeah, and I guess there's that scene where Buzz gets strapped to a rocket and loses all will to live, but then Woody convinces him that he has just as much worth as a toy as he would as a space ranger, but like, that's whatever. Actually, that begs another question. Where did Sid get a rocket? Did he use his parents' money? Do his parents know about this rocket? Surely they have to know about the rocket, right? This kid is doing literal explosions in their backyard. They have to know about it, right? Just another piece of the puzzle that kinda makes you wonder about Sid's home life. But we can't forget that triumphant scene where Woody and his new friends save Buzz from Sid with literally the best plan ever.
We toys can see everything.
So play nice.
That's what you get for being such a bully, Sid. But that is not all. Oh, no. Not only do they still need to get back to Andy, who is currently leaving with the moving truck right now, but they also need to teach Scott a lesson. Normally I like dogs. This one is a pain in the butt. I was so happy when Scott got trapped by all those cards and Buzz and Woody were able to make their escape. And then there's the whole falling with style scene, which, I am not buying. That is not falling with style. That is most definitely flying. At the very least, gliding. But it doesn't matter because it's a cool scene and a very triumphant moment for our two heroes. And it gives you that sense of satisfaction. So, all is well with the world again. Buzz learned that he's not a space ranger, but he can have just as much worth as a toy. Woody learned that Andy will always have a special place in his heart for him, and not only that, but he doesn't have to be the center of attention all the time. And everyone else learned... To be honest, I'm not really sure what everyone else learned. They had guilt for throwing Woody off of the moving van, but that was about it. And now we wrap everything up with a final Christmas scene. It's snowing outside, the family is downstairs opening Christmas presents, the toys are upstairs excited to welcome any new toys to the family, and Sid becomes a garbage man. And I, as a native Idahoan, have to include my favorite line in the entire movie.
Repeat, a massive potato head.
Way to go, Idaho!
Idaho? But I live in Idaho. They might as well have said my name. So So there you have it. That is Toy Story, my favorite Disney movie. If you'd like, you can share your favorite Disney movie in the comments down below, and feel free to tell me why it's your favorite Disney movie. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, and if you happen to be new, please consider subscribing to join my daily doodlers. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!